Hey, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I was just backstage telling Courtney that I'm not going to mess up this time. Hey, I forgot to put myself on stage. What do you do? Oh, well. How's everybody doing? How's your week starting? Um, Everything's going good here. I'm on a little staycation. We were going to go out of town for a little bit, but those plans fell through. And now we're here. So just doing a little staycation, doing a little work around the house. We're going to be jumping in the pool back there here shortly. Um, Paul, do a cannonball. Tyler says, I thought about trying to do the show from the pool, but I don't know how I would even bother doing that. So I'll just do it this way. So anyway, hope everybody's having a good day. Like I said, good start to the week. It's getting pretty hot here. Hope everything is okay by where you're watching us. Courtney will be up here in a few minutes. She's down in Lebanon, Missouri. Same thing there. It's getting pretty hot. Right now we have, at least here in St. Louis, we have 87 degrees. Last time I checked, the heat index was in the mid 90s. So, ick. It's getting hot. Midwest summers, hot and humid. So, let me get this banner going. I want to remind you guys, Saturday, Krista will be back, and we will have Harley Owens from Bigfoot Reports and Data. He's a Bigfoot researcher and investigator. You've seen him on BMR, and I believe he was on Blondes and Booze a couple months ago. So, great guy. Looking forward to talking to him. Looking forward to meeting him, actually. Very, very intelligent guy. Very big in the Bigfoot investigation. So he will be on this coming Saturday at 7 p.m. If you happen to have any encounter stories, seen a Bigfoot, UFO, ghost, whatever, maybe you just went on a ghost hunt and want to talk about it, send me an email. It's paranormalamongus72@gmail.com, and we'll talk. Just like, you know what, Shelly, I forgot to download that video and put it on here. I was going to do that and show people, but I forgot all about it. I will try and remember to do that on Saturday's show in the beginning. So, but anyway, I'm going to bring up Courtney here. Her kids are out there swimming, so we'll get her on here so she can. Hey, Courtney, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. And yeah, if you hear any screaming in the background, it's the kids.
Nobody's getting tortured. It's just the kids having fun swimming.
It's just the kids having a great time. I've only been hearing about can we go swimming since 8.
Yeah, it's how's your pool temperature? Is it warming up pretty good?
Yesterday it was in the 90s. It felt like a bathtub getting in it.
Really? That hot that soon? Wow.
Yeah. I think we set it up late March, early April, so it's had time to, acclimate.
Yeah.
And well, the heat wave we've had is definitely helping.
Yeah, and it was in the mid 80s or so last week. And of course, the week I go on vacation, it's 90s have all of a sudden hit, and here we are. Welcome to summer. And summer hasn't even officially started yet. So, hey, Crystal, your mom's mom's here. So we had you on last Tuesday on the patio. You had a few stories, yes. And wanted to have you back on. I know you had a few more stories.
Yeah.
Huh?
I said, yeah, my Hatman story last week.
Yep, Hatman story that we have in common. Yeah, you lived in a haunted house for a while. Any more stories that came out of that one?
Oh, the amount of stories I could tell you. The amount of stories my mom could tell you. I mean, it got to a point where if mom and I were showering, one of us was just sitting on the toilet in the bathroom. That's kind of how haunted it got.
Wait a minute. What did you say?
It got to the point, like, I'm going to embarrass mom for a minute. Sorry, mom. I love you. She was taking a shower, and I'm probably going to tell it wrong because this is from my point of view, not hers. And she started freaking out. And I'm like, rushing in, like, you fall, like, what's wrong? And she's like, sit on the toilet in here while I finish my shower. And she had scratches down her back. And it's like, you can't, I mean, like, I can do that and go like this, but, you can't start from the top and go down like this.
Oh, was it just like one hand going down?
Or was it like two?
Oh my God.
And that was in the master bathroom. So that was her bathroom.
Yeah.
And then another time she was walking down the hallway past, the main bathroom. And a lady, she couldn't see the eyes, couldn't see the mouth, jumped out at her. And I mean, she hauled it down that hallway. She was like, nope. And
you guys don't live in this house. You don't.
No, we don't live in this house anymore.
Okay.
I lived.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It was 5 years, 13 to 18, roughly.
Okay. Did you guys ever figure out what it was?
Nope. My dad goes, we're moving to Wyoming. And we were like, cool. Let's get out of here.
So wait a minute here. So where was this house at that was haunted that you guys lived in?
This was in Maryville. In Maryville, Tennessee.
Oh, Tennessee. Okay.
Yeah. We were less than 20 minutes from the Smoky Mountains at that point.
Oh, okay.
And then the other haunted house in Maryville we lived in was about 40 minutes from the Great Smoky Mountains. Great view of it from our front porch.
Yeah. And was that one haunted?
Yes. Now, when we moved in, the walls were, and this is going to sound bad, but like, the Mexican restaurant colors, how it's like burnt orange and like deep purple?
Yeah.
That's the color of the walls when we moved in.
Whoa.
We were like, that's weird.
Yeah.
So, before we officially moved in, my sister, my brother, and I all stayed so we could finish painting because those colors don't look good in a house on the walls.
No.
So, we're painting. We're like, yeah, we got to get this done. Like, ugh. And we were sleeping in my sister's room. What was going to be her room, my sister and I. And there was a lady in white. Never saw her face. I mean, woke me up dead sleep. And I'm like, what is that? And I'm like, Hallie, wake up. She's like, dude, just go back to sleep. And I'm like, dude, look. And she goes, and being, about 18 at that time, first words out of her mouth were a string of curses.
Yeah.
It was like, I'm not crazy, right? And she's like, I didn't see anything. Covered her head.
Oh my God.
Like, thanks, you didn't see anything, but you're going to hide under the covers like a child. Awesome. And that's just one of the stories.
Yeah.
Now,
when you guys... Oh, your nephew has?
Yeah.
Did he do anything to your nephew?
But he's scared him to death.
Was he older or younger?
He was like, he was younger than what he is now.
Well, yeah, but was he younger than you guys?
Oh, yeah. What was he, Mom? Was he like 4 or 5? In that age range, because my kid was like 2. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I was.
So
I was telling him about the lady he saw, Mom.
He was 4. So when you guys moved, did it follow you to the different houses when? No, it didn't. Okay.
No. Nope. The only time we had paranormal activity in Wyoming was when my brother visited.
But you said last week that you think something was attached to him, right?
Yeah, things piggyback off him. Swear to God. He could go somewhere that's not haunted and there'd be paranormal activity because something follows him.
Yeah.
And that's my older brother.
You're younger. Okay, he's not invited to this house at all. So, I mean, do you have any idea, or does he have any idea where he got this attachment?
We couldn't tell you. I don't think Mom could tell you. Are you looking at the chickens? Okay. My
So
kiddo's
let's
up
get
here.
back to. Oh yes. Looking at the chickens. You guys have chickens?
Yep.
So let's get back to the haunted house where your mom had the encounter in the bathroom. What was there? Anybody else get scratched? Or was it just your mom?
Just my mom, my brother Colin, which is the one who I swear brings things with him.
Yeah.
I was never scratched in there. My sister wasn't. I don't think my dad was. If he was, he'd never say.
So Colin was the one
biggest skeptic I've ever met. Colin's the one who has the attachments, I swear.
Okay. And he doesn't like talking about it.
Can I want that on your phone?
I'm sorry, what? My kid was asking me a question too.
And Colin doesn't like talking about this, correct?
No. He'll tell you things happen, but he won't talk about it. If you're going to watch Hatman, can you go inside, please?
Pam, calling chickens from the patio. That works. No. I don't think I'll do chickens from the patio. So what are some other things that went on in that house?
So that's the house I had the Hatman encounter with.
Hatman that we heard last week.
There was one night after a SARX, which is a search and rescue exercise, because my sister and I were a part of Civil Air Patrol at the time. And we'd come home because I love where they're camping, but it's too cold for, pregnant me to be sleeping outside. We came in and I think Mom was there, and we had a sunroom at the back of the house into our backyard where we let our dog out. And there was the security light on our neighbor's house came on. And I'm like, oh, that's weird, wonder what set it off. We pulled open the blinds and there was just, I can't describe this creature to this day, just standing there, just staring in the window. It was like, drop the blinds. And we're like, we're going to walk away. Nope.
Really? Did he have like facial features that you could recognize, or?
I always tell Mom I relate it to like earlier Dracula films with, the pointy nose, the pointy ears. Ooh. I don't know what it was. I don't want to know what it was. It was enough to go, nope.
Close the
and I tried waking my dad up. Yeah, I was like, he's not going to believe me. I was like, we're to go wake him up. And I'm like, Dad, there's somebody standing outside, And he's like, What do you want me to do about it? I'm like, please just go look. Of course, he opens the blind. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, my sister saw it. I saw it. Mom saw it. Our foster kid saw it. We're like, you come around, it disappears. Cool. Good to know.
Wow. Did you eventually go outside and look around and see if there's any like footprints or anything moved around? Well, yeah.
The next day, I was like, I ain't going out at night. I mean, it's bad when the dog doesn't want to go outside.
Yeah. Did you find any footprints or tracks or anything?
Nope. And I was looking at our yard. I climbed on our fence, was looking in our neighbor's yard. And I was like, they probably think I'm crazy. It'll be okay.
Yeah. So Pam has a quick question. Was it only the one sighting of the Hatman?
Nope. We had multiple
Really?
sightings of him in our house in that hallway. Like, Mom's seen him, Colin's seen him, I've seen him, obviously. My mom's friend at the time saw him. Her daughter saw him. And it was just one of those, like, I'm like, that's just Joe. It'll be fine.
Joe the Hatman. Was it all kind of just the same area in your house?
Yeah, it was just the hallway upstairs towards the bedrooms and bathroom.
Huh. And he wasn't doing anything to anybody else, just kind of lurking around.
No, he just kind of lurked. I think the only person that was really afraid of him was my sister.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I guess the foster kids saw him. I forget about their experiences because foster parents would be like, "Oh yeah, that's just our ghost in the house." It's like, "Oh, are you sure you saw that?"
No need to worry. No need to worry. It's just a ghost.
Just Joe.
What was I gonna say? Oh, was it just a black facial feature, or did you see red eyes? Or...
Just all black, fedora hat. Couldn't see any eyes, which I'm thankful for now that I've done more research on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's kind of freaky. Hang on a second. He was seen in your hallway. Yep.
Yes.
So
I was about to respond to that one.
You told me backstage that you had another encounter recently. We're going to save that for a little bit later on.
Okay.
Have you had any? So anything happening at the house that you're at now?
Not really. The only thing we have happenings, our family goes to spit around forever. Like, my dad can tell you stories about her. My mom can tell you stories about her. And, I mean, if my grandparents were still alive, they could tell you stories about her. But, I mean, she's not malevolent, obviously. Matilda's a great ghost. She's saved us a couple of times.
Really?
But, I mean, it's as much as the cabinet door opening. And that's about it. Okay.
Okay, but I mean, she's around, and you feel that she's there, kind of protecting you guys. Okay. In this house that you're at now.
Yep, she's the only ghost that follows us, and it's typically she's with the youngest generation on my dad's side.
Yeah. Fisher had a question here about the Hatman. Any physical touch from the Hatman? And from what I remember from last week, you'd know on that, right?
No physical touch towards humans. He would move objects when I was sleeping upstairs in the bedroom in the back on the left. He'd move my stuff out of the closet and into the room.
Okay, I remember that one now.
As far as any physical touch went, it was just stuff moving from my closet.
He was the one that was throwing stuff out of your closet. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now,
I'm like, I don't know what you're looking for.
Obviously, he was looking for something and never found it, or maybe he did find it and left. So
you can hope, right?
The friendly ghost that was protecting you said that was your grandmother?
It's on my father's side. It's been a ghost for as far as my grandparents could remember.
Okay.
And her famous trick is closing and locking the bathroom door and turning the light on like somebody's in there. Famous trick.
Well, maybe that is. Maybe she's in there using the bathroom. Do you think she was at any of your other houses, kind of protecting you there too?
Oh, absolutely. When we lived in Iowa, and this is what I mean by I know she's a good ghost. She saved us a couple of times.
Yeah. My
mom and I were going to go to Des Moines for something. I can't remember the exact reason now. I was probably 7. And we were looking for the car keys. And we couldn't find them. I mean, we searched everywhere for these keys. We searched the bedrooms, the bathrooms, the car, her purse, the cupboards, the drawers, because we're like, could have gotten misplaced.
Mhm.
I know I misplace my keys all the time. And about 45 minutes around, and a news story came up, and it was a fatal wreck, killed most of the people involved in the wreck. And Mom's like, we would have been right there about this time. And she turned around, and on our dining room table was the keys.
Really?
Across the scanner.
Mm-hmm.
And they weren't there before.
Nope.
Wow.
I mean, we turned the house upside down looking for these keys.
Yeah.
Because she was taking care of my great grandma, who was diabetic at the time.
Do you think she hid those on you guys to keep you from going someplace and maybe keep you safe?
Absolutely. And I mean, Mom's cursing her because, you hid my keys. Where are they? We find them. And like I said, it came on the news about the wreck. And I was like, oh. She was like, oh, well, I guess thank you. We're not going to Des Moines today because I don't want to deal with that.
I was talking with somebody else. I can't remember who it was that they had one of those moments that they were driving along and something told them to, go get gas over here or go turn in here for some reason. And, she did. She didn't really feel like she needed to, but she did it anyway. And after she did whatever at the rest area or the gas station, and she went on her way, there was a wreck right up ahead that looked like it had just happened. So, somebody was protecting her just like somebody was protecting you.
Oh yeah, and that's one thing. Like I learned early on, trust your instincts. If something says don't go down this road, don't go down the road. I don't care if it's the fastest way. I will happily take the long way. Exactly.
I mean, somebody's guiding us somehow. So. And I think I know the answer to this question, but Pam had on here, does anyone in your family have special abilities? Is there a history of special abilities in your family? Isn't your mom kind of a medium or something?
Yes, she's suppressed her abilities for the longest time. The generation above her, I'm not sure. I believe my brother Colin does have abilities. I believe that's why he has attachments and gets them easily.
Right.
I just feel things.
Now,
here.
When I first met you at Ashmore, you were really focused, from what I remember, and my memory is not the greatest. You were really focused on trying to communicate with spirits and stuff. And forgive me if I asked this last time, but when did all this start with you, wanting to have the interest in communicating with spirits?
Probably when I was 13, which is really funny because at that point is when I really started practicing as a pagan. And it was one of those, my mom's always been fascinated with the paranormal. I grew up watching, Ghost Hunters, Ghost Adventures until that he kind of went weird with it.
I agree.
So it's one of those, I've been fascinated by it since I've been young. I mean, my kid grew up watching ghost shows.
That's kind of how. Yeah, that's kind of how I got into it. Those, and I think I feel the same way that you do. That those shows were really good. Nothing against them. I'm sure what they do is real, But I guess with TV shows like that on Travel Channel or History Channel or whatever those are on, they just over sensationalize things too much. And I mean, oh my God, there's a ghost. I watch like the first part of it, and just get the history of where they're at, and then I take it from there. And if I want to watch the rest of it, then I do. So I mean, that kind of sounds like what you went through too.
Yeah, it's kind of what Mom and I do now. I mean, we used to watch Ghost Adventures religiously, to be perfectly honest. And there was a point in one season where it was like, you're doing great. Obviously, you're getting the views, but it's like, I think we're done watching.
Yeah. They've been around for what, 25 seasons or something like that. I mean, they've grown a lot. And
something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
I think they started in like 2005.
I remember when I had one of my knee surgeries when I was sitting at home recovering, just watching that, and on a whole all day for a week or so, just watching that, like, you know what, maybe that's not the best thing to be doing. So, but anyway, got off topic there a little bit.
It happened.
Yeah, look, a squirrel. Pam had another question for you. I think Pam should really come on the show with me. Be my Saturday or my Tuesday co-host. Anybody experience mind speak in your family?
Clairvoyance? Occasionally. Whether it be again, mostly my brother Colin, and it's just like, I trust you, but I gotta hear it. I gotta feel the vibe, because sometimes he'll just talk, and other times it's like this really weird, like, cryptic message, and you're like, huh? And he goes, sorry, it just was a thought that came in my mind, and I felt the need to speak it.
Yeah. I get that every now and then, that I'm not handy at all, and I'm trying to fix something or put something together, and I'm having a hard time. My grandpa was very handy and stuff, and I would think, okay, Grandpa, what would you do in this situation? I'd sit for a little bit, get away from it, and then all of a sudden it would come to me. So I need to put a sign up there that says "Quiet" when driving past my house.
I know my brother Colton's starting yard work, and I'm like, I'm on a podcast, man. What are you doing?
But yeah, I mean, and stuff like that happens, I think, to people more than we realize.
98. Yeah, I don't think people realize when it does happen unless they pick up on, like, the subtle changes of their inside voice, as I call it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let's get back to the maybe the haunted house again.
Let me tell you about that house.
Do you want to tell them about it?
Hey, Crystal.
Hello.
What else happened?
Well, let's see. My son was walking up from the basement stairs.
She'll tell you this one. I wasn't there.
Don't put me on camera. Okay. I'm in my suit.
Okay, I'm sorry. My bad. Let me scoot the laptop over so you get picked up a little bit more.
My son was walking up. We lived in the split level, and my son was sleeping downstairs, and he come walking up one night, and he started screaming. And I had a couple friends over, and we went running over there to see what was wrong. And he was like horizontal.
Here's because you can't see your arms.
Yeah, it was like this, and his feet were not touching the stairs, and neither was his hands.
So he was levitating.
Yeah, screaming because he was scared.
Whoa, I would be too.
I I love my brother, and he's this big, I can take anything. But hearing him scream like a little girl is a little bit, humbling.
Yeah.
You'd hear your name called in that house when nobody was there. Things would move, like poltergeist activity.
Did you ever
I told
have
you,
it,
Mom and I didn't shower alone at that point.
Yeah. Did you ever have it checked out or cleansed or anything?
Not in that house, no. It was pretty, I think, like Courtney said, I think it was something that was attached to my son. He was into, he was an addict, and
he was in his rebellious phase,
and
I call it.
So I don't know. I think he picked up something bad because he has abilities, but he just doesn't want to believe that he has abilities. And it scares him more than anything.
Yeah.
And sometimes when he goes up, he bucks up against something, it's not what he should be bucking up against, and it just attaches him. He doesn't know how to cleanse himself or, anything like that. And to me, when somebody's, in that addiction behavior, it's almost like they're negative, So it's like a magnet. Everything negative attracts. So I think it was him that brought something in the house, but I don't really know. A couple months after that, we decided to move.
Yeah.
We went to Wyoming. We didn't have any problems in Wyoming. I mean, we'd still hear our names being called and stuff, but
that was mostly after he came up to visit.
Yeah.
A lot of that is
poltergeist activity.
Yeah. A lot of that is, I think it's because I've suppressed so much and over the years that I just didn't want to believe that, that I could hear and see stuff. But
yeah.
So now it just makes me, when something's near, or it just makes me, sick to my stomach, or I just get really lightheaded, and I just have to take myself away from the situation and ground myself and regroup, and I'm good. But I don't know. It's weird.
I'd agree with that statement, Pamela.
Yeah.
It says your family's high frequency and vibration possibly open to all to these experiences, wanted or otherwise. And I would definitely agree.
Yeah. I'm definitely not scared of the paranormal. I'm like all for it. I'm like, let's go. Let's find out what this is. Let's get to the bottom of this.
Oh, like I said last week, I'm too curious for my own good.
And not being afraid of it, that probably helps, I don't know, keep things at bay, maybe. Keep you from getting attached or harmed.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, yeah. To some extent, yeah. And then there's some stuff that I don't know. I just won't, pursue. I won't.
Well, she won't deal with, nor will she take me to let me go investigate myself.
Right. But that's, you love doing that, Courtney, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's a passion.
Yeah. Yeah. And, I'm finding that, once you do one, you want to go back and do more.
Oh yeah.
And after Ashmore, that was my first one. I'm all gung ho for the next one, wherever that is.
See, I'm excited to go back to Melbourne Manor because there is a lot there, and if you're not a believer or any kind of skeptic, when you go there, you ain't when you leave. You're just.
I have two different drinks. I'm sorry, y'all. I keep switching.
So, well, for both of you guys, were you? You said you were a skeptic. What made you both believe in this stuff. What was your like aha moment that something is definitely real?
I've always believed it since I was a kid.
Yeah.
I've had visions. I've had, I could see stuff. But I guess, back then when I was growing up, like I'm really old, but, it just wasn't talked about, in the 70s. You didn't, nobody said anything. It was hush hush, if, or, oh, you're just, your imagination. Like I told my mom, when both my great grandparents passed away, I told them before they actually got the call that they were gone. Really? And I remember because I was so mad because I was so adamant about going to see my grandpa that day. And she's like, no, it's probably not a really good idea for you to go and see him in that condition. And, and I'm like, no, we need to go see him. I've got to say goodbye.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't let me go. And then like an hour or so later, we got the call saying that he had passed away. And I was so furious. But later that night, I remember seeing my grandpa in my room. And my mom would tell me, oh, you're just imagining things. And I'm like, no, it was like, I'm standing here talking to you. He was real. He was there. Yeah. And he told me goodbye and that he loved me. And she's like, oh, it's just your imagination. I'm like, okay. Yeah. So, I was told that so many times, I just suppressed everything. And as I got older and on my own, I was like, I can go explore this kind of things and nobody going to judge me or tell me that, I'm crazy.
Right.
And it just went from there.
Yeah.
I grew up with her. So
were you really close with your grandpa?
Like I said,
me? Yeah, I was very close with both my great grandparents and my grandma. I mean, I took care of my grandmother for the last 6 years of her life. She actually died in my arms. She took her last breath in my arms.
Wow. Did she come and
so
visit
I
you?
was very close with my grandparents.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
All the time. I'll get the smell of musk.
Yeah, she had this like signature perfume, and I mean, I can pinpoint it from like a mile away at this point. Like, I'll smell it, and I'm like, "Hi, Grandma Dorothy." It's just like comforting.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with
my dad.
My dad's mom.
Yeah. I haven't smelled, my grandparents or anything, but I haven't smelled my mom's perfume around. But my dad came to visit, and I was in our basement one time, and my dad came to visit, and I smelled his cologne. It was Old Spice. I mean, I know that was a popular one, but definitely one that he always wore. So he was here visiting. So we kind of hinted around about your recent activity that you saw.
Yes.
Outside of the one that happened, you said 4 days ago or whatever, anything else happened in this house that you're living in?
We have a video. It's on Mom's computer of this apparition in our driveway. And I mean, I can show you exactly where it happened now. So we have a wood pile, and then my brother's out there mowing. So I can't quite see. So from at the edge of our garage near the red probe, it appeared and then took off towards our black Jeep. And I'll have to send that to you. Okay. I know Barton showed it on his.
Yeah.
And that was like 3 days, 2021, I believe. Maybe 22. I don't know. I don't know the exact date. I know it was in August. It was 3 days after we set up our security cameras. August really? 8th, my bad.
Interesting.
And then I'll also send you pictures of these. We had our dog pen before we got our fence completely put up. And in the middle of it is like a cluster of 2 trees. And I mean, one night, all the dogs are brought in. We're chilling. It was hot. And our female, who's upstairs majority of the time in my parents' bedroom, just started raising Cain. To put it lightly. I mean, growls, fur all bristled. And I mean, if I imagine if demon growls, this is what they sound like, is her growl, because it was deep, it was guttural, and she was just not having it.
Yeah.
So my dad's like, okay, well, I'll go out and check. Well, the tree cluster of 2, the one towards the house, was broken. And it looked like it was just nicely, gently laid into the tree across from it, into the Y. We didn't hear it break, nothing. And I have pictures of it on my phone. I could show you, send them to you via Messenger later.
Yeah, you can send it. Yeah.
And it was just one of those where, like, what happened? Like, after that, the only thing we see are actual deer. I'll put actual in front of it, because we all know I like to call things I don't understand deer. And I think the craziest experience outside of the one we were hinting at that happened 4 days ago is it sounded like a woman scream in our woods. And then it was just this nasty, like, dead skunk rolled up in poop, trotting around, smelling. It was like, I'm gonna go inside. I don't want to find out.
Yeah.
It was just this god awful stench, and I was like, I'm good.
Oh, yeah. Pass on that. So Shelly asked, and I believe this was when you were talking about the entity by the by your garage out there.
Our
Did it have
garage.
legs? Yeah.
Yes, you can actually see its feet. And Mom gets mad at me because every time I play it, it looks like it's going, and I make that sound every time. She's like, can you not? Hey, Mom.
Interesting. Okay, so I think we've hinted enough at this event that we were talking about. Oh, you know what? We're out of time.
Yes. Aw, next week, guys.
No. So you had something very interesting happen 4 days ago, right?
Yes, the 14th, Friday.
And was that your house?
Yes.
What time of day was it?
It was night. We were
Nighttime.
purposely investigating, I'll be honest, because my mother-in-law had her brother and sister over.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, you got to see this. This is really cool. And I thank Terry Mosby for, getting Mom into UFO hunting. Because otherwise we wouldn't have these crazy experiences.
Right.
So we're outside and we're like, oh, just, pick a star.
Yeah.
Well, the first one that we noticed was one in Scorpio. I want to say it's Vega. I could be wrong. I'm not going to lie. I looked it up. I've forgotten about it. It's been 4 days. And so stars are normally like white, yellowish, red. We're watching it. We're like, oh, it's an airplane. So, we're not going to use the laser pointer. We're just going to observe, wait for the plane to pass. No, 10 minutes go by. It's still in the same spot. And Mom's like, that's weird. I don't think that's a plane. We've seen like 2 planes go by and that one's just stayed still. So she circled it and there was green lights, there was blue lights, there was red lights, and there was white lights. Just, kind of like dancing. We're like, oh, okay. That's cool, Not something we've seen.
Yeah.
And all of that. And we're like, okay, we've seen them shoot out of stars. They're at Melbourne.
Yeah.
where Terry introduced this method to Mom. We're like, okay, no worries, whatever.
Yeah.
And we came out back here because we were out front first, and Scorpio was probably about here in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
So we were out back looking at the Big and Little Dipper because those are, from what we've heard, they're like portals. They come in and out. We're like, okay, we're not getting much luck, circling. And Mom and I just happened to look up at the same time. We're like, whoa, look. And like, we're all looking, we're like, white light, solid white light. And trailing after this plane, just trailing after it. We're like, okay, not a plane. It doesn't have the flashing green and red lights on opposite sides.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, we'll watch it. And I happen to turn my head like this, and there goes another white light. And I think we saw 7 in total that night, just kind of circling, going, And it was one of those, there was one that was like directly above, and it shot towards the moon. And before like it got towards the moon in the sky, it just vanished.
Oh, wow. And you said it was following a plane?
Yeah. There was one following a plane.
Eating their lunch.
Holy cow.
So, and that's how we noticed at first, because
That's why they're
with
quiet.
the lasers, it's against the law to, point them up at
They're
airplanes.
eating lunch.
That's a federal
So
law, yeah.
don't do that if you're going to do this. Obviously,
Big fun.
it's a felony. It's a big fine. Nice time in jail. No
Yep.
thanks.
I'm fine right
So-
here.
You got to look all around. You got to look all around the sky to make sure there's no plane.
Yeah.
And that's how we noticed it, because we're like, oh, there's a plane. And we'll call out planes if we see them. Like, hey, there's a plane coming from the left. Hey, there's a plane coming from the right. There's one coming from behind us,
Right.
So we were looking, sitting at our deck, looking back behind me. And this plane's going, just cruising along. And behind it is, white orb just following it. We're like, is that? Oh my God. And the plane kind of curved, going where it was going. I don't know. I'm not an aircraft expert, I'll be honest. And the
Yeah.
white light, 90-degree angle, gone. It's like, cool.
Wow.
And of course, it was my mother-in-law's, second time UFO hunting with us.
Yeah.
Her brother and her sister's first time, because they were like, oh, UFOs, nah. We're like, you just got to look up, There it was. They got to see 7 of them.
Yeah.
There's probably more,
And-
but we only noticed 7.
Yeah. And so many people don't bother looking up, whether they believe or not. So many people don't look up, and there's so much more to be seen, looking up when you're outside instead of always being on your phone and stuff.
Yeah.
So I
and
just
that's one
gotta
thing that,
hang on one
Go
second.
ahead.
I just got to notice having trouble connecting. Please check your internet connection. I hope. Can you see me? Okay. Am I coming through? Okay.
Yeah,
or am
I
I
can see you.
pixelating out? Or... Okay. All right.
no, you're
don't know.
doing good. At least on my screen.
I don't know what that's about, but okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I just wanted to make sure that things were okay. So, I'm sorry. What were you saying?
You're good. I would say it kills my dad, because if it's at night, my head's up. If it's during the day, my head's down, because I found so many pennies up, heads up, and I'm like, look, they have good luck. And he's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Keeping my head on a swivel.
And you live in an area that's probably doesn't have a whole lot of light pollution, right?
No. Most of the land around us, except our neighbors on the left side, are
Yeah.
all owned by the same family, and it's mostly cow fields. It's great.
Yeah.
We
Great
live
for
about
UFO hunting.
11. Oh yeah, live about 11, 12. Hi, baby.
Hi, bud.
Oh, thank you.
Aw.
That's my spot.
That was pretty damn cute. I like that. That was pretty awesome. That was awesome. Yeah, I mean, we're far enough from the city, but we're still, at night there's still a lot of light pollution here, so I got to go a long way to look out at night to the skies and stuff. But I mean, here where I'm at, it kind of sucks. But I still try and find
Yeah, we're
stuff.
about close to 20 miles out of town. So the only light pollution we got is either from us or our neighbors about a quarter mile that way. They have a pole with a light on it because they like to plow their hayfield at night, and I don't blame them.
Yeah. So
I am animated. I'm sorry. It's the Italian.
talking with your hands a lot. Yep. And I can't find a place to
Yes.
put this hand. I just can't find a comfy place for it. I guess there. That's why you're going to see me look like I'm landing in an airplane. Well, cool. I mean, that's awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
7 in one night. That's pretty cool for UFO sightings.
I wish my phone
And-
would have been able to take video of it.
Yeah.
It was just not working with me. I was like, please let me take a video. No. I had a nice picture of the moon out of it.
And
that's it.
does it normally not work, or do you think it was just that instance?
I've never tried recording at night.
Oh, okay.
That was the first time. And I was like, really? I was like, let me take pictures then. And I was like, nah.
Of course. Somebody didn't want you seeing it, but well, Courtney, this has
Didn't
been
want me
this has been
captured.
awesome. A lot of great stuff that you have, and thankfully, no more scratches on your mom or anybody else.
Thankfully, no more scratches.
Yeah,
The only scratches I get are from the dogs.
and the kiddos probably.
Oh, yeah, and occasionally the kiddos.
War. Talking about Terry Mosby. When Terry starts that alien stuff, I go far away.
It's interesting,
It is.
but
And
I've always been a space nerd, so
Yeah, and I've always been interested in UFOs, but I've never really seen them. And Ashmore was the first time that I've ever seen the pointer hunting them, and so that
the
was
laser
kind of cool.
pointer.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I would just be nervous that I would accidentally hit a plane with that. So maybe I'm not going to get one of those things.
I'm nervous too. That's why I'm like, here, Mom, you have the laser pointer. I don't want to be responsible.
You spend time in jail, not me. So
We're watching
People-
a live stream.
again,
People were saying hi to you.
yeah.
Can you say
Here,
hi?
look. Where's it at? Where's it at? Oh, I'm trying to find the comment. Somebody said hi. Where is it?
Oh, there's both of them.
Here it is.
Hi.
Hi guys. How you guys doing today?
Hi. Hi, Papa. Good.
You enjoying the pool?
Yeah.
Did
You guys
enjoy
enjoying the
swimming?
pool? That's cool. Are you guys done swimming for the day, or are you gonna go back in?
I think they broke for lunch.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So let me ask you this question, boys. Do you guys miss being in school?
Kind of and kind of not.
Kind of and kind of not. Okay. I get you.
This one's just like,
I want to be homeschooled because I'm.
You
Ow,
wanna be
sorry,
sorry,
what
homeschooled?
you, buddy.
Yeah.
They both are begging to be homeschooled. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, get to 5th grade and we'll talk.
Yeah. No kidding. That's a lot of work, homeschooling.
And thank you.
So,
I'm definitely blessed to have my kiddo, and then I call him my bonus kiddo. It's my nephew.
bonus kiddo. There's a helicopter
Yeah, my
flying
bonus
around.
kiddo, my nephew.
So, all right,
I haven't
guys.
seen any planes today.
There's a helicopter that just flew out over that way. Doesn't look like it's much. So,
Lots of birds.
Anyway,
No planes today.
guys, Courtney, thank you guys very much for coming on. You and your mom and your boys. Appreciate
Thanks
you guys
for
being
having
there.
us.
I know it's a hot day that you'd rather spend in the pool, but I appreciate you guys coming in here. I also appreciate everybody in chat coming in and spending an hour or so with us. So thank you guys very much. And remember, Saturday, Chris is going to be coming back, and we're going to have Harley Owens, Bigfoot researcher and investigator from Bigfoot Reports and Data. So that'll be a fun one. You've seen him on other shows. So looking forward to some Bigfoot talk. Some more Bigfoot talk. So yeah, it'll be fun. So guys, thank you all very much. Have a great rest of your week. And let me get to the right place. Courtney, hang on 1 second. And we will see you all on Saturday. Oops, pass it up. All right. Take care, everybody.